Hi, we are Industry Team 6. This video is a review of our Agile process for Sprint 5, covering how we plan the sprint, standards, and how we track the work in Tiger, coordinated with our sponsor, and how we manage the merge request, merge and testing, and how we used sprint review and retrospective to improve. Firstly, our sprint goal and backlog structure. For Sprint 5, we organized work in Taiga using user stories as our sprint level deliverables and tasks are implementation units. And our Sprint 5 goals was to start and integrate the LLM layer in a safe and testable way, and continuing the UI backend integration for real data, and support the sponsors' updated financial intake profile requirements, and improve the CI/CD full stack readiness. Uh, we in Taiga we grouped this into major user stories like user story 110, that is research and integrate LLM layers, and user story 116, the profile UI dashboard and integration, and user story 108, which is UI integration with backend APIs, and user story 128, which is update Jenkins to support front end, plus carryover UI and dashboard integration tasks. Uh, we use this structure to each so that each user story clearly connects to a product outcome, and each task is small enough to verify, test, and merge independently. Uh, we started Sprint 5 with a sprint planning meeting on March 23rd. During planning, we did three things. That is, we reviewed carryover tasks and dependencies from Sprint 4. We confirmed sprint priorities. That is, LLM foundation work was the highest priority because it unlocks the guidance layer for the of the product. We assigned owners and clarified acceptance criteria. We planned work so it could run in parallel: backend LLM pipelines and endpoint work, and LLM observability and testing, and profile intake, backend model API work, and profile UI, and the front-end budgeting dashboard and the API integrations, and also the DevOps updates to run front-end and backend together. We also agreed that tasks are done only when they meet our definition of done, which is implemented, reviewed, tested, and stable in CI where applicable. And during the sprint, we ran four recorded stand-ups. Our Scrum Master for Sprint 5 was myself, and each stand-up we followed a consistent agile format. What we did since last stand-up, what we will do next, and our blockers. This helped us surface integration issues quickly, especially when backend responses or CI environments caused failures. We used stand-ups to rebalance work. For example, when a blocker affected CI builds, we coordinated a quick team sync rather than letting us stall the progress. We tracked progress daily in Taiga by moving tasks through states like open, in progress, and done. We used the sprint burn chart to monitor whether we were trending towards completion. In Sprint 5, the burn down shows we completed a meaningful portion of the sprint, but we also had some open carryover, mainly because a large integration task, especially LLM and the CI stability work, take more time and require extra validation. Importantly, we kept transparency by updating task status as soon as progress changed, linking tasks to commit PRs or PRs when possible, and documenting why certain tasks remained open, such as end-to-end chat input integration. And for GitHub process, we aimed for consistent contribution per person using medium-sized commits rather than copy-paste dumps. We used branches and merges into our deployment main branch, which is our main branch. We used GitHub as our verification source. Each completed Taiga task is tied to commit history or PR evidence. When conflicts happen, we treated it as part of our agile integration process, We resolved conflicts quickly and kept PR scope limited. We also used testing as part of code quality, especially for LLM safety and structure validation, profile API updates, budgeting dashboard API integrations, and edge case handling in front-end flows. And Sprint 5 had recurring CI and build issues, mainly environment related, like port conflicts, container lifecycle issues, and build stage restart pitfalls. For an agile process perspective, we handled these as blockers. We raised them in stand-ups immediately. We scheduled a focused team meetings on March 31st to debug and stabilize. We used Jenkins logs to identify root cause rather than guessing, and we adjusted our sprint execution so CI didn't block our progress. For testing discipline, we made LLM testing mock based, so it runs without a real API key and doesn't depend on external connectivity. This is important for repeatable builds and stable validation. And with the sponsors meeting and feedback loop, we maintained a weekly feedback loop through sponsors meetings during Sprint 5. We had sponsor meetings on March 23rd, March 30th, and April 2nd. In these meetings, we reported progress, aligned on demo expectations, and adjusted plans based on sponsor and mentor guidance. For example, Yuki suggested we present our demo right after their team demo. So feedback is in the same context, and our sponsor agreed to that plan. This sponsor loop is part of our agile process. We treat sponsor feedback like product owner input and adjust sprint priorities accordingly. At the end of the sprint, we did a sprint review and retrospective. And sprint review, we checked what we planned versus what we completed, and what deliverables are demo ready, and what needs to carry over. In retrospective, we focused on improving process, and the key takeaway was stabilizing CI earlier in the sprint, keeping response contracts consistent to reduce integration churns, and merging smaller PRs more frequently to reduce conflicts, and prioritize one end-to-end demo slice early, so we always have a stable, happy path. These retro action items directly shape our next sprint planning. Uh, that concludes our Sprint 5 Agile process review. So we followed Agile ceremonies, planning stand-ups, sponsor feedbacks, review, and retrospective while tracking work in Taiga, validating progress with GitHub evidence, and improving quality through testing and CI discipline. Thank you.